Ladies, have you ever heard a man say something that sounded simple, but deep down you know was more behind it? Like a puzzle wrapped in charm, flattery, or mystery? In the world of love, attraction, and an emotional connection, words are never just words. Behind every phrase is a feeling of fear or desire that often goes unspoken. Today we decode the 6 phrases men use when they want you and what they really mean. But this isn't just about men. It's about you. It's about trusting your intuition, honoring your worth, and never settling for anything less than clarity, respect, and real love. When a man looks you in the eyes and says, "You're different from other girls," it can feel like the most flattering thing in the world. You feel seen, special, chosen. After all, who doesn't want to be recognized for what sets them apart? But beneath that smooth phrase lies a deeper layer that deserves closer inspection. Because sometimes those words aren't about celebrating you, they're about controlling the narrative. And in the quiet space between what's said and what's meant, there's a powerful truth you must learn to hear. This phrase taps into something deep within us, a desire to be unique in someone's eyes, to be the exception, the one who stands out from the rest. And when you're told you're different, it can feel like you've already won the race, like you've already been picked out of a crowd. But here's the truth. If someone truly sees you, they won't have to compare you to others. They'll speak to your soul, not your category. When someone says you're different, ask yourself, does he see your heart, your values, your mind? Or is he just saying what he thinks you want to hear? Often this phrase is used too early before someone even knows enough about you to make such a claim. That's a red flag, because if he barely knows you, how can he truly know you're different? The truth is, sometimes men use this phrase to fast-track emotional intimacy. They want to create a bond quickly, to make you feel special enough that you let your guard down. And once that wall drops, they hope you'll be more forgiving, more tolerant, more patient with their inconsistencies. It's a form of emotional bait, and once you've bitten, it becomes harder to walk away, even when things start to feel off. You see, being called different can be a subtle way to make you prove yourself. You set the bar, now you're not like the others. So now, you unconsciously work to keep that title. You avoid conflict, you tolerate things you wouldn't normally accept, because you want to remain different in his eyes. It's a clever psychological game. Keep you striving for approval by making you believe you've already earned it. It puts you in performance mode instead of alignment with your truth. And then there's the darker side when this phrase is used to isolate you. When he says, "You're different," he might really mean you're easier to manipulate, or you're willing to overlook things others wouldn't. Sometimes it's not praise, it's a test. He's watching to see how far you'll bend to maintain your special status. Because when someone starts comparing you to others, they're already putting you on unstable ground. They're implying that you're only valuable if you remain above the rest, if you keep proving you're not like them. But you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn your place in someone's life by being not like other girls. Because being like other women is not a flaw, it's a reflection of strength, depth, beauty, and complexity. Other women are not your competition. They are your sisters, your allies, your mirrors. And if a man truly values you, it won't be because he thinks you're better than the rest. It will be because he sees who you are, with no comparison needed. Real love doesn't speak in riddles. It doesn't rely on vague praise or subtle manipulation. Real love says, "I see you for you, and I choose you not because you're different, but because you are real, whole, and worthy exactly as you are." So the next time you hear someone say you're different from other girls, take a breath. Don't be flattered, be curious. Ask yourself, what is he really saying? Is he acknowledging your values, your integrity, your soul? Or is he crafting a narrative that benefits him more than it honors you? You deserve clarity. You deserve someone who celebrates you without needing to put others down to do it. You deserve someone who doesn't just say you're different, but who shows you through action, consistency, and respect that your presence matters. Not as a contrast to anyone else, but as a complete, radiant force all on your own. So don't chase the compliment. Don't fall for the script. Fall in love with someone who sees you, really sees you, and speaks to your truth, not just your ego. Because you don't need to be different to be deserving. You already are. I'm not ready for a relationship, but I don't want to lose you. At first glance, it sounds vulnerable, even sweet. It sounds like someone who's caught between his emotions and his fears. Someone who cares about you but just needs more time. You might hear those words and feel compassion, hope, and even patience. After all, don't we all want to be the one someone chooses when they're finally ready? But beneath that seemingly honest statement lies a truth that's often harder to face. This phrase is one of the most emotionally manipulative lines a man can use, even when he doesn't mean to be manipulative at all. Because here's the reality: when someone says they're not ready for a relationship, but doesn't want to lose you, they're telling you exactly what their priorities are. They want your presence without the pressure. They want the comfort of your companionship, your affection, maybe even your intimacy, but without having to commit, define, or take full responsibility for how they show up in your life. It's a one-sided arrangement masked as emotional honesty. It's like saying, I want to have you near me, but I'm not willing to fully show up for you. And while that may feel like it's coming from a place of confusion or emotional wounds, the result is often pain, frustration, and stagnation for the one on the receiving end. Because while he figures himself out, you're left waiting for him to heal, to change, to be ready, waiting for the day he wakes up and decides you're worth it after all. But here's the hard truth. If someone sees your value, they don't put you on hold. That phrase is a boundary test. It's a way of gauging how much you're willing to give without receiving commitment in return. It's not that the man always intends harm. Sometimes he's genuinely unsure, conflicted, or dealing with his own inner battles. But your life and your heart are not his rehab center. You cannot keep shrinking your expectations just to maintain a seat in someone's life. Wanting to be patient is admirable, but sacrificing your emotional well-being in the name of someone else's uncertainty is not love. It's self-neglect. If you've heard this phrase before, chances are you felt a sense of emotional limbo. One day he's affectionate, texting you good morning, making you laugh, giving you hope. The next day he pulls back, he's distant, vague, emotionally unavailable. And the cycle continues: closeness followed by confusion, affection followed by avoidance. It's a push and pull dynamic that keeps you hooked, hoping that if you just love him enough, support him enough, prove your loyalty enough, he'll finally choose you. But real love doesn't work like that. Real love doesn't keep you guessing. Real love doesn't say, stay close, but don't expect anything in return. If someone isn't ready to commit, that's their right. But if they aren't willing to let you go either, they're not just being honest, they're being selfish. They're asking you to carry the weight of a relationship without ever giving you the security of one. They want you to act like a partner without being willing to be one themselves. And let's be clear, no one is ever too not ready to miss out on someone they genuinely want to build a future with. When a man truly wants to be with you, he might be scared. He might not have all the answers. But he'll show up anyway. He'll communicate, make effort, and take steps forward, even if they're imperfect. Because love isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about recognizing the right person and making that moment matter. So what do you do when someone tells you, I'm not ready, but I don't want to lose you? You listen, not to their excuses, but to their truth. Because in that sentence is a boundary they're drawing them now. You get to draw yours. You get to decide if you're going to stay in emotional limbo, or if you're going to choose someone who's ready for you, not just interested in you. Don't confuse attention for commitment. Don't settle for someday when you deserve now. Don't interpret emotional availability as love when it's really just fear dressed up as vulnerability. You're not asking for too much by wanting clarity. You're not needy for desiring commitment. You're simply honoring your worth. If he's not ready for a relationship, that's okay. But he doesn't get to keep you in his life as a placeholder while he figures himself out. Let him go. Let him sit with the discomfort of your absence. Let him learn that real connection comes with responsibility. Because only then, if he truly values you, will he rise to meet you where you are, not where he wishes you'd stay. So the next time someone says, I'm not ready, but I don't want to lose you, hear it for what it is, a crossroads. One path leads to waiting and wondering. The other leads to choosing yourself. And when you choose yourself, you send a message to the world and to your future partner that your love is not something to be delayed. It is something to be met with presence, purpose, and power. Let's just see where this goes. On the surface, it sounds open-minded, casual, and maybe even a little romantic. It suggests spontaneity, ease, and freedom from pressure. It can make you feel like the connection is organic, unforced, like something beautiful that might unfold if you're just patient enough. But often, that phrase is a foggy veil hiding emotional uncertainty, a reluctance to commit, or a calculated attempt to avoid responsibility. While there are moments when seeing where it goes, genuine early in dating, for instance, far too thin, it's a way to keep things vague and conveniently non-committal. And that's exactly where the danger lies. When someone says, let's just see where this goes, it's important to ask, what does that actually mean to them? Because without clarity, you may end up walking in circles, mistaking motion for progress. You're investing emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically, but there's no map, no goal, no shared destination. You're on a train with no known arrival time. And the longer you ride, the more invested you become, but the person driving won't even tell you if they're heading where you want to go. This phrase, more than any other, puts you in a passive state. It asks you to accept ambiguity, to suppress your own questions and expectations in exchange for the illusion of emotional safety. It tells you don't rock the boat, don't ask too much, don't make this serious too soon. But love, true, meaningful love, doesn't grow in shadows. It grows in honesty, direction, and mutual respect. You see, let's just see where this goes often means, I like having you around, but I don't want to be held accountable, or this is heading. It gives one person the benefits of companionship without the weight of commitment. It's a subtle, socially acceptable way to avoid defining the relationship, because definitions come with responsibilities, and responsibility comes with expectations, and expectations come with the need to show up consistently. That phrase is like driving with the GPS turned off and hoping you still arrive at the right destination. Hope is not a strategy. Not in love, not in life. What makes it even trickier is that people who say this aren't always malicious or manipulative. Sometimes they're genuinely unsure. They may have been hurt before, may be scared of losing freedom, or may not have taken the time to heal from past wounds. But just because someone is confused doesn't mean you have to be. You can acknowledge their uncertainty while remaining clear about your own. If someone needs time to figure things out, they should do that on their own, not while keeping you emotionally entangled. Here's the truth you need to embrace. You are allowed to want direction. Wanting to know where things are going doesn't make you clingy, needy, or impatient. It makes you emotionally intelligent, shows you value your time, your heart, and your future. If someone gets defensive or evasive when you ask where things are heading, that's not your cue to back down. It's your cue to pay attention. Too many people waste months, even years, in situationship relationships with no label, no direction, and no clarity. They stay because it feels good in the moment. The chemistry is real. The laughs are genuine. The affection is comforting. But deep down, there's a quiet, achy feeling of not knowing where you stand. That ache doesn't go away. It just gets buried until resentment begins to grow. And by the time you finally ask the hard questions, the answer is often, I never said this was going anywhere. That's the heartbreak. Not that the relationship didn't work out, but that it never really started. It was motion without movement, proximity without purpose. You deserve more than that. You deserve someone who's clear, someone who doesn't just see where it goes, but who walks beside you with intention. Someone who says, I want to see where this goes with you, because I'm willing to put in the effort to make it grow. Relationships require courage. The courage to ask the questions that scare you. The courage to walk away from uncertainty. The courage to wait for someone who is ready, not just available. So the next time someone says, let's just see where this goes, don't be afraid to respond with, What does that mean to you? You're not asking for a proposal. You're asking for alignment. If they can't offer clarity, if they dance around the question, if they try to shame you for wanting direction, those are your answers. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to fight. Just know. Know that your time is valuable. Know that your love deserves a home, not a holding pattern. You are not a backup plan. You are not a maybe. You are not someone's emotional playground. You are a destination, and the right person won't be afraid to take the journey to reach you. I think about you a lot. It's a simple phrase, almost innocent. When you hear it, your heart might skip a beat. Your mind races with possibilities. You wonder what kind of thoughts he's having, how often, how deeply. It sounds sweet, romantic, even like he can't get you out of his head. And maybe at first that's enough. The idea that you live in someone else's thoughts can be intoxicating. But here's the truth. Thinking about you is not the same as showing up for you. When a man says he thinks about you a lot, he's opening a window but not necessarily a door. He's giving you just enough to stay hopeful, to stay emotionally invested. It might be a late-night message, a flirty comment, a memory he brings up out of the blue. You feel like there's something real there, something worth holding on to. But if all you have are his thoughts, and not his presence, not his effort, not his commitment, then what do you really have? Thinking is passive. It doesn't take risk, energy, or courage. It's what someone can do while going about their life, uninterrupted and unchanged. You deserve more than to live in someone's imagination. You deserve to be in their plans, in their daily life, in their consistent actions. Words, especially vague and romantic ones like this, can create illusions. They can give you emotional warmth without emotional security. Ask yourself, does this man show you that he's thinking about you? Does he follow through with a call? Does he make time? Does he ask how your day was and listen with genuine interest? Or are you left with little breadcrumbs, a random text, a compliment, a memory just enough to keep your heart hanging on? It's important to understand that I think about you a lot doesn't always come with bad intentions. He may mean it. He may actually reflect on you often. You may be on his mind while he's driving, working, lying in bed at night. But if those thoughts don't translate into intentional action, then they serve him more than they serve you. They give him a sense of connection, a sense of emotional closeness without requiring him to actually do the work of being close. And sometimes that phrase is used as a substitute for what he doesn't want to say. Maybe he knows he's not ready to give you what you need, but he doesn't want to let you go. So he tells you you're in his thoughts, hoping that will be enough. Maybe he feels guilty about not being around, about not calling, not trying harder, so he softens the gap between you with that phrase. But again, feeling something and acting on it are two different things. You can't build a relationship on potential. You can't grow love from intention alone. The man who truly values you will show it in the way he prioritizes you. He won't just think about you, he'll reach out. He'll remember the small things. He'll create space for you in his life, not just in his mind. He won't rely on poetic language to keep you close. He'll let his actions speak. And here's something deeper. Sometimes that phrase is used to keep the emotional door open without actually walking through it. It's a way of saying, don't forget about me, without saying, I'm ready for you. It keeps you emotionally tethered to someone who hasn't made the decision to pursue you fully. That's unfair. You deserve clarity. You deserve movement. You deserve presence. It's easy to confuse emotional breadcrumbs with a full meal when you're hungry for connection. But don't settle for a man who only thinks about you when it's convenient for him. Don't settle for fleeting words in place of consistent action. Don't give your heart to someone whose presence in your life feels more like a passing thought than a real commitment. You deserve to be with someone who doesn't just think about you a lot or a little, but who chooses you. Someone who acts on those thoughts. Someone who isn't afraid to love out loud, to love in real time, to show up even when life gets busy or hard or uncertain. Because love isn't just about feelings, it's about showing up even when it's inconvenient. It's about making room even when life is full. And it's about proving day by day, not just in thought, but in deed, that you matter. So the next time someone says, I think about you a lot, smile, but ask yourself, does he show it? Because if the answer is no, then those thoughts may be comforting, but they're not enough. And you, without question, are worth more than just a thought. I'm just really busy right now. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. After all, life gets hectic: work, family, deadlines, responsibilities. You want to be understanding, supported, and patient. You tell yourself he's doing his best, and maybe he is. But when busy becomes the default excuse for absence, lack of effort, emotional distance, it's time to look deeper, because someone who truly wants to be part of your life doesn't let busy become a barrier. They make room for you in spite of it. It's not that being busy isn't real. Of course it is. Everyone has seasons where time is tight. But when someone genuinely cares about you, even the smallest gesture can speak volumes. A 2-minute voice note, a quick check-in text, a simple thinking of you, these are not grand efforts, but they show intention. The truth is, we make time for what matters to us. No one is too busy to send a message, to acknowledge your presence, or to nurture a connection. When a man consistently tells you he's busy, pay attention to the pattern, not just the words. Does he seem to have energy for everything else, his friends, hobbies, social media, career goals, but never for you? Does he go silent for days and then pop back in when it's convenient? Does he expect you to understand his schedule while making no effort to understand your needs? These are not signs of someone caught in a hectic life. They are signs of someone keeping you at arm's length. The phrase "one just really busy" often functions as a polite emotional escape. It keeps you from asking deeper questions. It buys him time without requiring him to be honest. It gives him the appearance of being overwhelmed, while subtly training you to lower your expectations. And before you realize it, you're shrinking your needs to fit his availability. You're giving without receiving, waiting without asking, hoping without clarity. But relationships cannot thrive in emotional limbo. Love needs presence. It needs consistency. It needs effort, not perfection, not constant availability, but intentionality. A man who truly wants you in his life will find a way to let you know, even if it's just a moment in a busy day. He won't leave you guessing. He won't disappear into the fog of excuses. He'll be real with you. He'll be honest about his bandwidth. But he'll also be clear about his feelings and his priorities. If he's building a business, studying for exams, or dealing with family issues, and he communicates openly while still showing effort, that's different. That's a man balancing life with integrity. But if all you hear is "I'm just busy," without follow-up, without consistency, without any forward movement, then understand that's not life getting in the way. That's him choosing not to make space for you. You deserve to be a priority, not an afterthought. You deserve a relationship that's based on mutual investment, not one-sided patience. You deserve to feel seen, not sidelined. A healthy relationship isn't about demanding someone's constant attention. It's about feeling secure, even in the chaos of life. And that security comes from action, not explanation. Don't confuse being understanding with being emotionally neglected. Your compassion should not become a permission slip for someone to treat you like a background character in their story. Love doesn't grow in waiting rooms. It grows in shared moments, honest conversations, and intentional presence, even if it's imperfect. If he's always busy, but never too busy to show up for others, or only shows up when he needs something, then understand that it's not about his schedule. It's about his priorities. And you deserve to be with someone who values your heart enough to protect it, even during life's busiest seasons. You are not asking for too much by wanting a man who communicates, who includes you in his life, who shows effort when time is limiting. You're simply honoring your worth, and if someone isn't ready or willing to match that, let them go. Let them be busy. Let them run in their lane. But don't stand on the sidelines hoping they'll slow down and see you. You are not a convenience. You are not a break-time distraction. You are not someone's part-time emotional support. You are a full, radiant, extraordinary person deserving of full presence, not partial attention. So the next time someone says, "I'm just really busy right now," don't just hear the words, watch the actions. Because the right one won't hide behind a calendar. He'll make time, not excuses. He'll build with you, not around you. And in the busiest moments of his life, he'll still make sure you know you matter. You deserve better than me. At first it sounds noble, self-aware, even heartbreakingly tender. You might hear those words and think, wow, he must really care about me to say something like that. It almost feels like a compliment, like he sees your worth and is painfully admitting he's not enough. But if you pause and truly examine what this phrase means and how it functions, you'll see that it's often not humility at all. It's avoidance, it's deflection. It's the gentle mask that softens the blow of an emotional retreat. And beneath it, more often than not, is someone who knows exactly what they don't want to give, but doesn't want to be the villain for withholding it. When a man tells you, you deserve better than me, he's not just sharing insecurity, he's making a choice. He's deciding that instead of rising to meet your worth, he's going to walk away, or worse, stay in your life in a limited, inconsistent way, while telling you not to expect more. This statement places the emotional burden on you. You're left holding the weight of the decision. Do you walk away from someone who cares so much he doesn't feel good enough? Or do you stay and try to love him into believing he is? It's a dangerous trap, because this phrase often activates your empathy. You want to help. You want to prove that he's wrong, that he is worthy, that you see the best in him. But the moment you start trying to convince someone of their own worth, the dynamic shifts. You move from being a partner to being a fixer, from receiving love to trying to earn it. And that's not where real healthy love grows. Let's be honest, we all have flaws. We all fall short sometimes. But when someone truly values you, they don't hide behind their flaws. They don't excuse their emotional withdrawal with statements like you deserve better. They step up, they do the work. They try. If they really believe they're not in a place to offer you what you deserve, then they step aside with clarity, not confusion. They don't say just enough to keep you emotionally tethered while refusing to give you the full weight of their love. That phrase, you deserve better than me, often comes after inconsistency, after broken promises, after silence or coldness or distance. It arrives as a bandage over a wound they inflicted, as if saying it makes up for what they failed to give. But don't be fooled. Someone who truly believed you deserved better wouldn't tell you that, and then continue to hurt you. They would remove themselves from your life with respect, not leave the door open for more confusion and pain. And here's the truth they don't say out loud. When someone says you deserve better, what they often mean is, I don't want to change, or I don't want to give more, or I'm comfortable staying the way I am, even if that hurts you. It's not about you deserving more. It's about them not being willing to rise into the kind of person who can love you fully and honestly. But instead of owning that choice, they project it back onto you. They make it sound like they're the wounded one, the broken soul, who just isn't worthy of your love. It creates sympathy instead of accountability. And in the end, you're left mourning a connection that never had the chance to grow into what you needed, not because of anything you lacked, but because of what he refused to confront in himself. So what do you do when someone says you deserve better than me? You believe them not because they're right about your worth, but because they're telling you exactly who they've chosen to be. They're telling you they won't fight for you. They're telling you they don't want to do the work. They're telling you they've already decided how this ends and they want you to feel guilty for wanting more. Let them go. You don't have to prove your love. You don't have to convince someone they're enough. That's their journey. Yours is to protect your heart, your peace, and your future. Yours is to know that you do deserve more, not because he says it, but because you recognize your value. The man who's truly meant for you will never hide behind this phrase. He will rise to meet you, flaws and all. He won't excuse his emotional absence with poetic language. He'll show up. He'll try. He'll stay. So when someone tells you you deserve better, smile kindly and say you're right. Then walk away toward the love that doesn't ask you to shrink, to fix, or to wait. Toward the love that knows your worth and rises to match it.